Good morning. Today I would like to discuss a few tips that might help you amend a previously filed tax return. I'm attorney Nick Namath, and if you discover an error after you file your tax return, you can correct it by amending your return. Here are a few tips. Number one, you should file an amended return if you need to correct your filing status, number of dependents, total income, tax deductions, or tax credits. The instructions for Form 1040-X, the amended U.S. individual income tax return, list additional reasons to amend a return. Tip number two, in some cases you don't need to amend your tax return. For example, the IRS usually corrects math errors when processing your original return. If you did not include a required form or schedule, the IRS will send you a request for whatever is missing. Tip number three, use Form 1040-X to amend a previously filed Form 1040, 1040-A, 1040-EZ, 1040-NR, or 1040-NR-EZ. Make sure you check the box to show the tax year that you are amending on the Form 1040-X. You cannot e-file an amended return. You must file an amended return on paper. Tip number four, multiple amended returns. If you're filing an amended return for more than 1 year, prepare a separate 1040-X for each return. Mail them in separate envelopes to the appropriate IRS processing center. Tip number five, Form 1040-X has 3 columns. Column A shows figures from your original tax return. Column B shows the changes you are making, and column C shows the corrected figures. There is also an area on the back of the form where you should explain the specific changes and the reasons for those changes. Tip number 6, other forms or schedules. If the changes involve other tax schedules or forms, attach them to the Form 1040-X. Failure to do this will cause a delay in the processing of your amended return. Number 7, if you're expecting a refund from your original tax return, don't file your amended return until after you have received that refund. You may cash the refund check from your original return. The IRS will then send you any additional refund you are owed. Tip number 8, if you're filing an amended tax return because you owe additional tax, you should file 1040-X and pay the tax as soon as possible to limit any interest and penalty charges. Tip number 9, to claim a refund, you generally must file Form 1040-X within 3 years from the date you filed your original tax return, or within 2 years from the date you paid the tax, whichever is later. And finally, the normal processing time for an amended return is approximately 2 to 3 months, or 8 to 12 weeks. As always, should you have any further questions about amending a return or any other tax-related issues, please do not hesitate to contact my office at 972-484-0TAX. That's 972-484-0829. Thank you.